Hey guys, what is up? My name is Eoba, and here we have another Talon video for new Talon players that are looking forward to picking up in the new upcoming season. My guide will be split up into 3 different parts, so there will be early game, mid game, and late game, all of which will be 10 minutes each. Just a short introduction about myself is that I am a Challenger and a Talon 1 trick. I got Challenger for the first time in Season 8, and I peaked at top 100 when I did first get Challenger, and I did go on a 2-week vacation, but I still managed to get both of my accounts back to Challenger. So Season 9 Talon Midrange. So you want to run Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, and for Sorcery you want to go Absolute Focus or Water Walking. You can also switch Water Walking into Nullifying Orb for certain matchups like Kassadin or like Ari, just basically champions that have really heavy AP damage. And you go 2 offense, the 2 adaptive force, and then defense. Some Koreans actually go armor or the magic resist for the last defense page. It's really up to you if you find the matchup really hard, but you can always go the scaling health for mid to late game. So for Talon top and mid runes, you can also run the Resolve secondary. I do prefer this for top lane because most of the time you are going to be staying in lane and you want to be able to use your Demolish as you stay longer in lane. And you basically go primary, Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter. And for the Resolve you go Demolish, but also Bone Plating. Bone Plating can either be swapped into Second Wind for certain matchups like Jace or basically champions that have a lot of poke. And then you go 2 offense, 2 adaptives, and then scaling health. Pre-game planning is probably about what 90% of League players do not do before their games start. So in my head, as I'm looking at the matchups, we have Talon versus Katarina, which is pretty much a skill matchup. It depends who wins the laning phase, but it is a lot favorable to Talon because it is easy for him to predict Katarina's blades. The top lane is Vladimir versus Malphite, so definitely Vladimir is going to be winning that. He does have the range advantage. In the jungle, we have Force Within, who is a Challenger Kindred main, against an autofilled jungler, Big Fat LP, right? So you definitely know that the Kindred will have more pressure than the Jarvan. And the bot lane, we have Huhi and 100 Thieves Bang versus Proto-Kai'Sa and Morgana. Definitely looking for ganking top lane a lot more because he is an autofilled an Ari one-trick pony on Malphite, and he's not in his role. And for me to gank bot lane would be very hard, especially if I were to go Mobies on Talon. I would immediately lose my movement speed with Morgana's W, and if I do leap over a wall, it'll be easier for her to land a Q on me because Talon's vault speed when he goes over walls is affected by his base movement speed, and if that is lowered by Morgana's W, Morgana will easily land her Q, therefore having basically like a no effect gank, right? Like my ganks will not be effective. So my priority this game would be to gank top lane. For Talon versus melee, you should always start with longsword and refillables. There are some exceptions, for example like Aurelia or like Kled, which are a bit harder matchups, which you should be starting Corrupting Potion, but longsword and refillables are really good because your longsword lets you do more damage with your abilities, but also let you heal a bit from your refillables when you do go back to your base, right? And it is a really good buy because you do get to have an early Tiamat. You only need about 975 gold now since the new Tiamat nerf. And you could also resell the refillables for up to 60 gold. So that's an extra benefit for going longsword and refillables. If you recall and see that the enemy did not buy any armor, you should definitely go for more lethality and do get an early Serrated Dirk rather than the more expensive Tiamat. That is because you do more damage if you have Serrated Dirk and the enemy team doesn't have armor. If they do have armor, then you might as well just go for triple longswords in order to prepare for your Tiamat. Corrupting Potion is a very good item start on Talon, especially for the ranged and hard matchups for Talon, because it helps give him sustain because of the HP and mana that it gives. You can also sell the Corrupting Potion later on to be built into your Tiamat or into your Serrated Dirk. Another benefit for it as well is that it does damage to the ranged champions that you can't reach every time you use an ability and as the item is active. So for example, you use a corrupting potion and then you cast your rake, your W, and it should burn them for a short amount of seconds. So why longsword versus hard matchups? There are some games where I've played longsword versus Cassiopeia. That's usually because Cassiopeia is probably autofilled and she's not really used to her champion. It's very easy for me to abuse an autofill where I just push in the wave and I can easily tell that they don't play their champions just because they can't really last hit under the turret, right? But if you do go longsword start versus hard matchups, you do have the advantage of getting an early Tiamat, because if you do go corrupting potion, it takes longer for you to buy Tiamat because you have less gold, because you don't have the initial longsword that builds into Tiamat. And for longsword versus hard matchups like Cassiopeia, it's not too bad that she is ranged. I mean, you do have your Noxian Diplomacy, your Q for sustain with minions. You can use that to your advantage, but also you can push them out a lot faster in lane once you do get your Tiamat. Even though Tiamat got increased to 975 gold to upgrade from a longsword from the initial 850 gold, it is still worth it to buy because of its ability to have really good wave clear. It synergizes with Talon's W, and then a crescent from the Tiamat active helps clear out the waves really fast and helps Talon roam or contest for scuttle, or you can also counter jungle in the enemy team's jungle. You can also use it to clear raptor camps and wolves with this active. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and leave a comment below if you have any questions for me to answer. This video isn't really much in depth. It's mostly explaining what you should know for the base of playing Talon before you do play him on the Rift. And I hope that you guys do make sure to follow my Twitch TV/Eoba underneath, and follow my other socials such as my Twitter as well. I do stream every day and have my stream schedule on my Twitch panels. Stay tuned for the 3 other videos I'll be posting. Each will be about 10 minutes each and will be in depth for laning phase, the early game, the mid game, and going into the late game for Talon.